Hello friends and welcome. Patch 7.29b came out just as I wanted to go to sleep, so here we are. Let's do a quick analysis. We won't go into every change because some of them are just minor ups and downs, but let's pick out some of the big ones. So right off the bat, Anti-Mage getting base armor. Still don't think he's going to be quite back in the meta, but he's kind of, I think he's actually getting there, guys. His stats are actually pretty decent to start, and a lot of spell casting heroes feel like they're coming back into the meta a bit because of the bottle changes. People are getting bottles more now, and that helps to maintain your mana costs, and then that's when Anti-Mage is kind of good. Having said that, a lot of strength armlet builders are also back, and those kind of heroes were kind of good against Anti-Mage because they tended to just like be really strong at the start, kind of just kick Anti-Mage around and then win. So it's kind of weird, but I think Anti-Mage is getting there. We might see him more. Bat Rider, small change. Beastmaster, his Ags build was very strong. Been nerfed. A lot of these other heroes, small changes. We'll focus on supports a bit. Bounty Hunter support, still going to be very similar, even with this shard adjustment. Dazzle, I think this talent change is minimal. I think this hero will still be very good. Death Prophet, I think the feeling I get is they're trying to push her back into a core role. I think you'll start to see more of that again. She was a support for a little bit last patch. I did not realize how expensive Crypt Swarm was, and support Death Prophet didn't care that this was an expensive spell because she didn't level this ability. But core Death Prophet does care because you use this ability to farm, and so it is now down by 35 mana, and that's kind of crazy. That's what I mean. I didn't know it was so expensive. That's pretty crazy. Well, maybe it's not that expensive relative to other farming spells. But anyways, this is a big change in mana cost, so I feel like Death Prophet as a core will be its main role again instead of being a support. Doom, I thought that base armor change was crazy, but the loss of regen hurt the hero more than I realized, so Doom has not been super popular. Well, I think like people are trying it, but it hasn't felt like dominating or anything like that. So now Doom is going to be even cheaper, Devour, and Doom's going to do a little bit more damage. So I do think Doom is getting back in there, though. He's been missing from the game for a little bit. Drow's been very strong, should be nerfed a little bit. Elder Titan will now use Euler's number for the delay on Earth Splitter. I like this. It was pi before 3.14. Reddit made a post. Ice Frog must have liked the idea. So it's 2.7182 now. Somewhere out there, it is called Oil's Scepter. Anyways, Grimstroke, I think, will still be a good hero. The shard changes, I mean, the numbers went down a bit. I still think this hero is going to be good. The Strong Dispel is really cool, and Grimstroke fits a fighting meta. Plus, if Doom is good, that gives some more power to Grimstroke. And anytime there's a good single target spell hero, Grimstroke's value kind of goes up. Grimstroke loves heroes that go in, initiate, and have single target spells. Doom just happens to be one of them because we were just talking about him, but there are others like that. And with the abilities that Grimstroke has, he just likes that stuff, and he likes these early fights that happen. Those bounty rune fights, everyone like rushing for those river bounty runes. Grimstroke loves that, whether he starts with his Q or his Inkswell, Stroke of Fate or Inkswell. Both of them are good in those kind of fights, and so I think he'll be fine. Hoodwink getting some buffs. Getting there. I don't think she's broken or anything yet, but these definitely help. And the cooldown on her stun, getting another second off, pretty nice for support Hoodwink. Though this health talent's also really nice, actually. But I think if you're playing support, you probably want this cooldown talent, and I think she's start to get a little more popular. I think her Ags and her Shard are still a little awkward for support Hoodwink. Huskar, super meta right now. He was very strong, so these nerfs are warranted. I think he'll still be okay because the items still fit the hero very well, and there are no item changes in this patch. They're all hero changes, so I still think Huskar will be popular, but this should definitely make him a little worse. I think we might see slightly more nerfs to him as well in a future patch, 7.29c perhaps. And if you're wondering, by the way, you did not miss 7.29a. They did a lot of small patches, which I thought were just going to go unnumbered or lettered, but I guess they decided those counted as 7.29a, so now we're in B. Kunkka. Okay, I should mention Coddle because he's a support. Coddle, I think the changes made him more oriented towards like timing pushes, but that's still very coordinated and hard to pull off in pubs. So I think it'll take a pro team demonstrating how to make Keeper work. Like, even if I have the right idea on him, I don't think pubs will catch on until a pro team does it. And I think it's going to be, again, based around how you used to rush ags on the hero and to use this ult, which now makes Illuminate heal in the daytime. You don't have to get the ags anymore, so you can build other items and then just go with like a timing push. But that's very hard to organize in pubs. Maybe if you play with your friends in some team games, you can give it a shot. But I think once... it'll probably be Liquid. Or, sorry, now Team Nigma. Although Liquid's actually also probably pretty good at this stuff. Insania plays a good coddle. I think that maybe you'll see them do some timing pushes. But Nigma was really famous for doing this back when they were Team Liquid. So I kind of feel like it'll be them who showcases it. But we'll see. I think Kunkka's getting close to a support again, guys. I'm really excited about this. I love Kunkka support. But it's been bad for quite a while. He just felt really awkward, but his base stats are going up, and X marks, which is what made him such a good support, got nerfed heavily, but now, look at this, 38 seconds down to 24. What? That's 14 seconds off of level 1. That's crazy. You max this ability as support Kunkka anyways, but this is still really nice, especially by the end, it's 2 seconds less. Now, it used to be really good because it had a crazy cast range, and I think that is still nerfed from what it used to be, but what he has now are talents that really fit support Kunkka that he didn't have before. Now he has a Shard and an Aghanims, which core Kunkka doesn't feel like he needs those. Support Kunkka, those feel really good. So, I think we're close to a support Kunkka. I think it might be possible right now, and it might be something I try. His laning still feels awkward. Like, if you're having a good game as support Kunkka, it feels amazing. But to start, when you have, like, a very inconsistent Q, which is the Torrent, what do you do in the lane? You don't do anything in the lane. That's why these base stats are such a big deal. Because at least, if you can right-click trade well, then that is what you do in the lane. Get some levels, get your spells, and then you're playing the game. Torrent also got a cast range nerf in the last patch. So that part hurt support Kunkka. But this stuff, we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. These heroes I don't think we need to talk about too much. Lina, I think support Lina might also come back as well with the rise of strength carries who are building armlet, things like that. They don't like dealing with long-range 4s. And funny enough, they also allow your team to have a ranged support. This is not an official rule anywhere, but generally speaking, for reasons we won't get into completely right now, having a mix of melee and ranged heroes is usually good. And depending on who is playing what, like if certain heroes are ranged, then other heroes want to be melee. And so I kind of feel like if melee heroes become popular again with armlet builds, which I know is weird because actually there were a lot of melee heroes in the last patch anyways with the Abyssals and the Blinks, but they're like a different type of melee heroes with the armlets, mainly like Lifestealer. I think Lifestealer does not like dealing with Lina because she is so long range, and even though he can dodge her Light Strike Array is a very cheap spell to use just to make him use Rage, and then you can just continue to poke him down. So I kind of think we might see more Lina 4. These buffs are all quite nice for her, all small buffs. And she's just very annoying, good in these low cooldown fighting skirmishes, things like that. I think her numbers were just too bad in the last patch. I think there were better heroes, but now it feels like we're getting there. I don't know if she's like busted or anything, but I'll be trying out support Lina again with those buffs. Lycan feels like he lost a bit of his identity with the necro changes, so he's getting a lot of small buffs. I think it'll be like OD, where everyone's going to be like, Lycan's trash, oh my god, this is the most broken hero in Dota. Everyone will rush it, and then we'll realize it's broken, and then we'll nerf it again. So right now, all of these changes, I don't know, like maybe it makes the hero decent. I think people will still miss the old necro. I think he might get buffed again, and then we'll get to that super broken realization. These are fine. Monkey King, some of his changes hurt him a bit, so they're kind of like reverting some old nerfs, so he's I don't know, playable again. I mean, he's not like unplayable. These are just like helping to balance it out. I think all these are small enough. Phantom Lancer, he was a big winner of the patch. Some nerfs to him should make his shard build less irritating to deal with. He shouldn't be as invincible because of the cast range. Like, he could do it really safely. He would just Q people from far away. He was very safe. The shard would bounce everywhere. It would do a ton of damage, and it was just miserable. And so they're nerfing all those little aspects by bit. So now he has to put himself more at risk. It's not going to bounce as much. They're not going to do as much damage. So he's not going to be as irritating to play against, especially if you're going high round. That's where it felt really strong. Rubick, I think, is going to be good, guys. He already got some buffs in the last patch. He lost his cast range talent, but let's be honest, his cast range is crazy with his passive anyways. And telekinesis got a cooldown reduction in the last patch, and the stun is now going up a little bit as well at level 1. So level 1 telekinesis is getting a good amount of value. Now, if you're not sure how it works, lift duration versus stun duration, your target is the lift duration. So I target Lifestealer. I lift him up for 0.8 seconds. When I throw him down, Lifestealer is now free. Where he lands, though, everyone is stunned. So let's say he was standing next to a Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden, not affected by the lift duration. She is affected by the stun duration, which is now 1.2. So this spell is just kind of receiving different buffs between the reduced cooldown from last patch, now the stun duration. I think Rubick is... I think he's going to be pretty solid. I think he was already solid. And he's a hero who always... Like, if you look at his win rate, it's probably below 50%. The hero is always like that because he's a tough hero. And so more people are likely to lose on him. But if you're good at Rubick, I feel like he's getting buffed. And I like some of these changes. Although, having said that, he is not someone who builds Solar Crest and some of the other popular items right now. But I think the hero itself is strong. So I kind of like that. Some of these are just kind of like smaller changes, little buffs up and down to the heroes. Weaver seems like he'll start to be picked a little bit more. He's got some good changes. Ursa was doing pretty well with his shard, so they're trying to nerf the shard a little bit, increase the hero's natural strengths a little bit more. Winter Wyvern. Oh, I can't scroll up far enough. Let me... What? Yeah, we'll do that. Winter Wyvern. She got a mix of buffs and nerfs in the last patch, and so they're adjusting her a little bit more. But I think she'll still be okay. Yeah. So that's that. Small patch, not too big, all focused on heroes. Shouldn't change too much. If there's a hero you like a lot right now, you can probably still play them. The biggest change to me was the Huskar, the PL, and what else did I say? I think we're getting to support Lina, maybe support Kunkka. Oh my god, I really want support Kunkka to come back. It was so fun. I love it. And it'll be even more fun with like the axe and the shard. And then who was the last one? Rubick. I think Rubick's good. Those are the ones that kind of stick out to me this patch. But again, shouldn't be anything crazy different. Everything else should still be okay. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.